So, John, we are going to head down and see Dave Brown. Dave has joined us from our Microsoft Technology Center in the UK, and he's here with the Samsung SUR40 with PixelSense. So, Dave, show us what you've got here.
Thanks, Steve. So this is the Samsung SUR40 with Microsoft PixelSense, and I'm going to demonstrate briefly how I can use natural user interaction to navigate around the solar system and the surrounding universe. So what I've got here is a Chromeless UI, but I can use touch to start navigating around the interface here, and I can use a single touch, or I can use pinch zoom type gestures, multi-touch to rotate or zoom the camera, or combinations of all of the above. I can come up with some really fast, fluid, smooth gestures that would be really hard to do with a keyboard and a mouse. But I probably want to add some controls sooner or later, so I can just drag a control in from the edge of the screen. And this is a multi-directional platform, so I can drag in controls from any side of the screen, and they will face the appropriate direction for a user on that side of the device. And actually, I can change settings around the camera here. So, for example, I can pan the camera around in this way. And actually, I can get really in close here. Let's go and have a look at Lake Ontario there. Anyone here from Canada?
Anyone from Canada?
Yeah. So I can move out and look at the horizon from a point in space above Lake Ontario really, really easily just using touch. So let's zoom out a little bit more here. And you can see I can use this dial control to do that. I can use a single touch, or I can use multi-touch to do that. And if I drag in another control here, this control lets me change the field of view of the camera. And I can use one hand to change this control, the other hand to change this control. And you can start coming up with some really interesting user interfaces when you've got this many touch points.
Could give you a bit of a God complex, though.
Yeah. So let's zoom out a little bit more. So this is where the moon is. This is the inner solar system. And I can drag on the background as well as the control here to come up with some really fluid gestures.
I think I like that, Dave.
Excellent. So let's hop over to Saturn. There's Saturn and its rings, and this is a live simulation of the solar system. I can actually unpause this, turn up time to about 1,000 times, and start looking around Saturn and its moons as I change time. So let's zoom out even further at this point. And one of the great things about PixelSense is it lets the device actually see what's going on above it. So I've got these transparent plastic discs here. When I place these on the screen, what you can see projected through them is a little crosshair, and I can move these around. They're directional. So if you're on a particular side of the device, you can orientate it appropriately, and I can get information about the stars underneath that crosshair by either moving the background or moving the plastic disc around. Only PixelSense can actually see what's going on above the table.
So this entire panel, Dave, the entire screen has a set of cameras as pixels.
Absolutely. 2 million cameras are embedded into the screen, and we stitch them together, produce an image of what's going on above the device. So finally, let's just have a look at the constellations. Now, most of us are familiar with the constellations, at least the lines. Let's zoom out a little bit. And actually, I really like to show the artwork here. So if I show these are beautiful images that were drawn about 300 years ago by a guy called Johann Sibelius. They're etchings. And I could get really close in here and have a look at these beautiful, beautiful images around the sky. So let's just hop back to Earth again. I'll use another control to do that. And you can see it's still spinning around here, so I better turn down time just a little bit. I'll just pause time. And we've got a few satellites in orbit here, so I'll just select this one here. We'll zoom in, and what have we got here? Some of you might recognize this, actually. It's amazing what you can find in orbit around the planet Earth.
Dave, that's terrific. I think this is just a great example, John, of this trend that we're fascinated by in Microsoft, of the blending of the physical and the digital, the ability to put these physical objects on a digital device.
That's an amazing interface, I'm sure, lots of applications. What does one of these cost?
These are about $8,000. So come and talk to us at the SIC. We've got several PixelSense tables there. Have a look at the apps and find out which partners are using them the rest of the week.
All right.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.